Welcome to the Political Common Sense Podcast. I'm Leroy Glover, your moderator for tonight's discussion. Every Saturday night, we break down American politics, how it affects Black people, white people, men, women, and everyone in between. But here's the difference. This isn't just another political debate filled with talking points. We're here for real common sense conversations. No media spin, no party line nonsense, just honest discussions. And we want you to be part of it. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and let's talk about it. Now, tonight's topic, the Trump approach, roadblocks and challenges for Republicans. Whether you support Trump or not, one thing's clear. His vision for America has faced some serious resistance from Congress to the media, from state government to the global stage. What are the real obstacles preventing his policies from taking full effect? That's what we're digging in tonight. Joining me are my two longtime childhood friends and our feature hosts, Edward Blacknick and Kerry Langerback. They'll be breaking down the key issues, and I'll just be here. I'll just be here to just add some interesting questions just to keep the conversation going. So let's get started. Ed, Kerry, let's start with this. What do you think is the biggest roadblock Republicans face in pushing Trump's policy forward?
You want to go first, Kerry, or you want me to?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. The biggest roadblock that Trump faces, okay, is ignorance. All right. And I'll give, no, really, I'm serious. I'm not kidding.
I was just about to say, ignorant Democrat.
It's ignorance. Yes. And I'll explain to you why, okay? I'll explain to you, and I hope I don't ruin something later on that we have going on with the show where, like, you have another question. But I'm going to explain to you about the stock market, okay? So everybody's like, oh, the stock market's going down. It's going down. It's going down. Tariffs this and tariffs that and that. What they don't understand is the Fed is not going to allow interest rates to drop to make Trump look good. It's just the way it is. There's still a Democratic Fed atmosphere. Let's put it that way. So they're not going to drop the rates. So the only way the rates are going to get dropped, which is what he needs to handle inflation, when the rates drop, inflation drops. He can't help it. So what he needs right now is a way to drop inflation without having to go through Congress and the Feds. Okay, that's what he needs to do. So he's playing with the market a little bit and letting it drop. As the market drops, so will the rates. And the Fed can't stop it. Okay, so that the ignorance is that instead of them realizing what he's doing, and also I want to go a little further. I hope you don't mind, Gary. Just I want to roll with this. And so what they don't realize is that he sees a bigger picture than what they see. They see hate. So anything that they deem that he might be doing wrong is going to be amplified in their minds. And that's what they're going to stick on. It's like this. It's like, imagine this. Imagine winning the lottery and then complaining about having to pay the income tax. Okay. Yeah, right. That's what they're doing. That's what they won the lottery with Trump, but they're complaining that they have to pay the income tax until we get the money. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this also applies. Wait, where was I going with this? What else? What's the other thing going on with him besides the stock market that they're talking about?
The war, the whole war thing, and how he did
the war is another thing. Okay, so I wasn't even going to go there. That wasn't the point I was going to make because I lost track.
The Doge.
Let's stay with the war a minute. Okay. Right. Okay. So what they don't realize is, like, they turned around and said, "Oh, he treated Zelensky really bad and this and that." What they don't realize, first off, is they didn't see 50 minutes of the conversation. They only saw 10 minutes. That's number one. Number two, you can't have, if you have two sides that are already in a conflict and you're looking to change that conflict, you can't have one side turning around and saying the other one's a hypocrite. He doesn't follow rules. He doesn't give us our thing. He's the worst guy going. He's Hitler, he's this and that. The other guy is never going to commit to a ceasefire because you're creating a situation of animosity. And when you do that, you can't stop a war. You're just creating more bad feelings.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is what they don't see. So instead of them saying, like, he's right, Zelensky has to calm it down, and in order to get Putin to the table, instead of them saying that, they're like, oh, Trump's rude. Trump's rude, but he's rude trying to save, hundreds of thousands of people's lives.
Right?
And if being rude saves 100,000 people's lives, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, really.
So that's kind of like what I mean by the ignorance. what it is they're seeing, my grandmother would say, they're being penny wise and pound foolish. So they're saving a penny, but they're losing $1.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. But the truth is, you can only do that when you know that the other side, what's happening on the side. They don't know it because, just like I explained to you about your friend, that's where I said that he doesn't understand what's going on. They don't understand. And the only thing they want to do is find something bad about Trump. That's all it is. Instead of trying to find something good about what the situation might be bringing on, they're more worried about putting him down than bringing us up.
Right.
Go ahead, Kara. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I agree with you 100%. That's pretty sad. You know, they just hate everything that he does. You know, they just
absurd. God, I'm sorry, Lee.
No, okay.
Yeah, no, just say they don't like anything he does, man. Because I agree with you 100%.
Let's set this record straight. What do you think is the biggest misconception about Trump's policy and how they actually impact America?
You want to take this or you want me to go first?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. There is no misconception. Okay. There is none. They know exactly what they're doing. The thing is, and I'm not talking about your voters here. I'm talking about your politicians for a second. Okay. So your Democratic politicians know that when Trump gets in there, their buttered bread is no longer going to be buttered. Okay.
Right.
They know this. So what they do is they then, I'm going to use the term hypnotize, but I don't really mean that. What they do is they produce a feeling for Trump. So, and they get the media. Now realize that the media depends upon making money by what stories they get. Understand that?
Yeah.
So if they're in good with a politician, they get really good stories. All right.
Oh.
So you get where I'm going with this already, right?
Going with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll take a politician's phrasing.
Yeah.
And they'll mega amplify it.
Oh, yeah.
Mega amplify it into, like, you know, when you looked on Bloodbath is the greatest example because the next day when you looked at every paper, what did it say? Trump says there's going to be a bloodbath. There's a bloodbath. There's a bloodbath.
Right.
He was talking about money.
Yeah.
He was talking about money. But the whole idea is if you can get the press to do it, you've got enough people out there who don't inform themselves and only go off a literal
what
headline.
The media says.
Okay. And on what the media says. And then what they do is they make the story up in their head. So, like, example being, how many? Let's take another example. Let's take the this Sudeikis girl that's missing in Bahamas.
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Let's take her for a second, okay? So when everybody first heard this, there's a girl missing, right? Immediately, it went to everybody's minds created this story that she was eaten by a shark. She was out in the water. She was this, that. We don't have to look for her. We're looking in the water. Now they're looking through other countries because they think she was a victim of, like, Taken, like the movie Taken.
Wow.
Like a victim of human trafficking.
Yeah. How did that happen?
But that wasn't even in the minds of these people at that point. She's Natalie Holloway. This guy killed her. You don't know that. Immediately, everybody puts together their own story.
Scenario. Right, their own scenario.
Right. And what the Democrats hope is that they can get you to put the story together the way they want it. And so they go to the reporters and they're like, listen, put this in there, okay? And just run with it. Next time something comes up, I'll give you the story. And that's how they make money. And that's why the media is so incredibly connected to the Democrats, because the Democratic Party depends upon media. The Republicans don't.
Oh.
The difference is the Republicans are more interested in finances. They're more interested in safety. They're more interested in where the Democrats are more interested in expanding. So by expanding, I mean transgender. I'm trying to think. You get the idea.
Yeah.
They're looking to expand the idea of what should be governed. Okay, as opposed to how it should be governed. That's the best example. The Republicans are more worried about how something should be governed. And the Democrats are more worried about bringing more things in to be governed. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Well, that's why they had open borders, because all the people that come in will vote for them.
Right. That's the whole idea. And that's another thing. You know, I don't mean to say this, for people who are so against racism, that if I hear one more person tell me that my fruit is not going to be picked by an immigrant because they're out of this country, what are you saying? Are you saying the only thing immigrants can do is pick fruit?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Is that what you're saying?
You didn't go
The only
there.
thing they can do is clean your house. The only thing they know how to do is clean a house, pick fruit, or drive a truck.
You
That's
didn't go
it.
there.
Right.
Who's racist?
Or working in deli.
Right. Who's racist? Who's the racist there?
Right. They are.
Trump shaped American foreign policies. Trump is reshaping American foreign policy. Do you think that strengthened our position on the global stage or made us more isolated? What's your take? Because he's reshaping it.
Well, right now, I mean, yeah, Trump is, he's reshaping the other countries, yes. He's reshaping the Middle East. If you look at his last, if you look at his last administration in 2016, there was peace. There was peace with him.
Well, right. No, but here, another way he reshaped him, look at what he did with NATO. When we walked into NATO was paying, you're supposed to, I believe. Now, again, I'm not, what's the word? And I'm not an ambassador or anything like that. So I can't tell you. I'm just telling you what I know. I believe that NATO was supposed to pay 2% of their gross earnings. So in other words, whatever the country grossed, they were supposed to pay 2% towards defending themselves. So in other words, that's what they had to pay to NATO. So let's say Germany, for example. Germany had to pay 2% of their overall earnings to NATO in order to create, so that they can get weapons and they can do all that stuff.
Right.
Most of these countries were paying less than 0.5%.
Ooh.
Okay. So Trump comes in and says, I'm not going to, we'll get out of NATO. When we were paying, we were paying like 13%. And we should only be paying 2%. So what he did was he already impacted these countries by making them perform up to the level they're supposed to perform at the 2% level. And in some cases, he even got more.
So what's wrong with that, though? That doesn't make any sense to me, and it's obvious to us. Why? What's wrong with that? It
doesn't make sense. It's not about making sense. It's about making Trump look bad. So what they'll do is, it's almost like they try to make it look like he's picking on a small child. So in other words, the United States is this big bully, and we're gonna go to somewhere like I think it's Finland that came in. Finland or Sweden. It was one of them. I'm not sure.
Sweden.
Just recently entered. Sweden. Okay.
I think you're right.
Just recently, dude. You got to remember, I don't prepare for any of this.
Right.
So this is all off the top of my head. So if I make a mistake, you got to go with me. But it's almost like they're saying the United States went to Sweden and said, "Listen, unless you pay your fair share to us, like we're going to get it. Like we're the ones who are getting the money. It's not us. NATO gets it. Okay, North American, whatever it is." It gets it, not us. But it's almost like he went there and he grabbed him by the lapels and he said, "Listen, you're going to give me more than 2%." It's not that.
Right.
He went there and told them, "You've got to pay what you're supposed to pay."
Right, just your share that you agreed upon.
Right.
But
fair share,
in some people's eyes, he should have just left it alone and just taken care of Sweden.
Ooh,
but the truth is, they don't even believe that. That's the only thing they can come up with to make him look bad.
Okay.
So they amplify it.
So okay, let's that ties into my next question. The media coverage of Trump has been polarizing. How much do you think their portrayal has influenced the public perception of his policies?
Oh, 100%. 100%, man. Not of 100% of 50% of the public. How about that?
Right.
That's what I would say.
Whoa.
I would say it influenced 100% of 50%.
Yeah.
So in other words, 50% are the Democrats. Yeah. But you got to understand, they want to believe it. That's why Republicans don't believe it, because they don't want to believe it. It's not true. When you want to believe something, dude, like great example is Santa Claus. Okay, so when you're young, dude, there's no Santa Claus. Nobody's bringing you stuff.
Don't let the children know.
I'm sorry, but you've caught your mom, wrapping the same present you open up on Christmas Day that looked exactly like it.
Right.
You know this,
Right.
but you'll still go Santa Claus because you want to believe it.
Right. Well, he came to my house this past December. I believe in him.
Right. That's a whole different conversation for another different podcast. Okay, so
You gotta stop smoking that shit.
there you go. That's it right there. That's it. Trump promised to uplift working class Americans. Did his policies truly deliver, or was it more campaign rhetoric than reality? I guess we're talking about his last term and what he's going for right now.
Well, right now gas is below $3. Okay,
boy.
it's $2.11.
Really?
It's at $2.11 in 43 states. Okay.
Yep.
Eggs are down. Eggs are down to $3.99, I think. Actually, it's more than that in Manhattan.
Wow.
But on average, it's down to like $3.99 a dozen from $7.99. He's impacted quite a bit on the average person. Yeah. But he's done it in such subtle ways that, you know,
it's not grandiose.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. What's the best strategy for Republicans to push Trump's policies forward despite strong Democratic opposition? What do you think?
Oh, that's a tough one because all they can do is just keep going out there and speaking. But
yeah,
you know, they just speak the truth, right? It's tough.
It's almost an impossibility. Okay, first off, because you can't. Okay, so the name of our show is called Common Sense.
Right.
And in order to get through to somebody, they have to have common sense. And it's hard. It's hard to assume somebody who walks around with something called a pussy hat on has common sense. Okay, it's hard. It's hard to walk around. It's hard to walk around and assume that somebody who wants to change the gender of a 10-year-old has common sense.
Right.
It's hard to run around and assume that a person who wants to talk sex to a 6-year-old has common sense.
Okay, I see.
It's hard to wait. It's hard to try to get through to somebody who thinks that a man the size of Hulk Hogan with a wig should go against a regular woman. Okay. Now, what I tell these men, what I would tell these men is
your analogy.
It's true though.
What I would tell these men, listen, you want to know what Riley Gaines felt like, or what the boxer who had to, do you remember the boxer who stepped into, you see that? She actually turned around and said, I'm not fighting anymore. That's the hardest I've ever been hit. If you want to know what that female boxer felt like, let me take you and put you in a cell with one of the toughest guys in the prison. And he's going to make you feel like a woman.
Oh, yeah,
he's going to make you feel like a woman.
Yeah,
you're going to know what a woman feels like.
Okay.
Right.
And you're going to know what it's like to go against a man, because he's a man. And he's going to treat you like the woman you are.
Also, you can't, you can't talk to people with common sense, especially when there's guys walking around in high heels, a bra, and wigs, and they say we're deranged.
I don't even care. Listen. I don't even care if you walk around like that.
Right.
Listen,
walk around any way you like.
Yeah. Hang on one second. Let me just finish this thought. So I don't care if you walk around like that, okay? Just some people are going to call you she. Some people are going to call you he. Don't get offended either way.
Yeah.
Don't get offended.
Right.
What I call you means nothing. So in other words, if I don't call you by your right pronoun, it means nothing. It means nothing in your world.
It should.
It's not going to change what you make next week. It's not going to change your health. It's not going to change whether your family eats. It's not going to change anything. So why are you so worried about whether I think you're a he, she, it, they, we, what? Why are you so worried?
Okay.
Why is that your fucking hill to die on?
I like that.
Really? It's true though.
Looking back, how much of Trump's agenda actually became reality, and what were the biggest political roadblocks that stopped him?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. His biggest roadblocks, he created himself. And he did that by, he did.
Ooh,
Not by doing anything wrong. Not by doing anything wrong, but by pointing out what other people did. Example being Hillary's emails, Hillary's 33,000 emails. By pointing that out, he made himself a target, and he gave Hillary a shield, the shield being the Democratic Party. So they became her shield and stood in front of her, so she wouldn't have to deal with the outlast? No, what's the word I'm about? she wouldn't have to deal with the crap.
Right.
And if you go after him,
of being exposed.
And if you go after him, you take the attention off of her.
And that's what they did.
Okay. I see what happened. Okay.
That's just one example. I give you a ton of others.
Yeah, no, but that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Look, say they were Pelosi.
Yeah, the same thing with Pelosi. That's right. Trump's tax cuts were a major economic move. Did they create lasting benefits for everyday Americans, or did corporations see the biggest gains? What's your perspective?
Well, hang on. Just hold that question a minute, because I want to back up a minute, because you brought up the name Pelosi.
Oh.
Now, let's take January 6th, for example, okay? Let's use January 6th as an, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. The storming and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Pelosi was offered, I don't remember exactly how many, but it was like literally
10,000.
30 or 20, 10,000, was it 10? Okay. She was offered 10,000 National Guardsmen as security. She was offered this.
That would have been nice.
Okay. They knew what was going to happen. They set it up. There was 26 FBI agents in that crowd.
Ooh.
Incognito. Okay.
Ooh.
So Trump called Pelosi himself and he said, listen, I'll send you over 10,000 National Guard as security. What did Nancy Pelosi say, Kerry?
No, she turned it down.
Okay.
But you don't hear that. You don't hear that. All you hear, I've never seen someone trying to take over or create a coup and offer to send security against his own people.
Yeah, see, they don't see that.
Yeah, that part right there. So it was basically glossed over. The fact that she said no was glossed over, which should have been really the big flashlight.
That should have been huge. Dude, that's so fun. That's like, dude, imagine this. Imagine this for a second. I take you and Kerry out on a boat. Right? Before we leave, the guy on the dock says to me, here, take this raft just in case. I say, no, leave the raft. We get out in the water and that boat goes down. Whose fault is it?
Yeah, there you go. You should have took the raft. There it is.
Right.
That's a perfect example. Okay, so now let's go back to that question I was asking. Trump's tax cuts were a major economic move. Did they create lasting benefits for everyday Americans, or did corporations see the biggest gains? What's your perspective?
I'm going to say everyday Americans, because at that time I was working and everything, and I had money in my pocket. And then the last 4 years, my money went like this, down.
During Trump's term, I'll put it this way to you, Lee. Okay, listen. During Trump's term, okay, the first 7 months of his term, okay, I bought a Pontiac Firebird. Okay, I bought what's called a pontoon boat. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a living room that sails on the water. It's got those big pontoons and shit. Got it upstate of my house. I'm not shitting with you.
Wow.
I bought a pontoon boat. I bought a Firebird. I bought a new motorcycle. I was walking around with like $4,000 in my pocket every day, if not more. Okay, I'm telling you. Right now, I'm looking to sell the boat. I'm looking to sell the car. I'm looking to sell. I walk around with minimal amount of cash in my pocket at all. It literally, they ruined the past 4 years. Was like hell in a handbasket.
Yeah. Leroy, my money went down.
Down? Wow. You couldn't have attached an anchor to it to make it go any faster.
Okay. Let's talk about COVID.
Oh, wow.
Oh, geez.
Trump's handling of COVID-19 was one of the most debated aspects of his presidency. How do you think it shaped his political legacy?
You want to carry? You want me to
go? You got that one. That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
First off, you can't compare it because we never dealt with anything like it. So it's a totally unique situation. So to turn around and say he didn't handle it right, you don't know the right way to handle it. Even what you think might not be right.
Right. We haven't had a pandemic like that. Right.
Right. So you may not think his was the right way, and that's okay. You can think that, but we don't have enough substrate. You guys know what I mean by substrate, right?
Yeah.
We don't have enough base to base it off of. Like, if we saw Michael Jordan, for example, throwing a ball in the hoop, we know how many times he's gotten it in and how many times he should get it in.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a one-time thing here. So there's no possible way to know the correct way to handle it without trial and error.
Have you ever heard the saying that the whole pandemic thing was just actually an experimentation from the government and global aspects? Have you heard that dialogue?
Okay, so
I heard that.
In essence, it is, but I don't think the way you're talking about, like a Tuskegee.
Yeah, just to see human behavior and all that stuff. Right.
I don't think it was done intentionally like that, and I don't think it was released. Well, no, I got to change this because I want to say something. Okay, so I have two theories on it. All right, one is I do think it was released by China, not by the world, by China, and I'll tell you why. Because before Trump was slated to take office, I'm 2015, 2014. China was slated to become the world's financial leader. They were going to have they were going to kill us, economically speaking.
Okay.
They were killing us. Okay. So they were slated to become, then Trump got in office, made us energy dominant, and started charging them tariffs and stuff, and literally broke them down to where, like, they weren't making any money at that point.
Oh.
So, yeah. So this might have been, my opinion is China turned around and said, if we release this, we can stop his economy and we can shut him down. So he won't be there long.
We got evil people.
Now, the other option, hold on one second. One second. The other option is that it was just an accident, okay, but it's an accident that shouldn't have happened because they shouldn't have been doing gain of function. Gain of function is the dumbest thing going. You don't create something that you don't have an antidote for.
Okay.
You just don't do that. You know, the first thing you do, if I get one cell of COVID-19 that I invented or I created, I am putting that aside and going to find something that kills it. Because I can't allow it to be, like, they're talking about bringing back the woolly fucking mammoth. The woolly mammoth, they're talking about bringing back dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's
and because they can't, I'm sorry, I got to calm down.
No, okay.
Listen, I've been attacking the thing a lot. I'm going to back it off a little bit. But they have a mouse that they took woolly mammoth genes and gave it to this mouse. The mouse looks like Dr. Jekyll or something. I'm not even kidding. Like, the hair is all over the place and shit.
Yeah.
And they're talking about bringing back dinosaurs, like through alligators and this stuff.
Okay.
And why would you do that? Yeah. You're bringing more predators into the earth for us to be a prey. Go to Florida and try to do a game of golf without getting an alligator on the fucking course.
Oh, geez.
Meanwhile,
that's a good one. And I want to bring one more thing up about the COVID, like you say. Of course, like my brother here just said, they blame him for everything, but when Biden came in office, more people died of the COVID.
Oh yeah. He like doubled the morbidity.
Okay.
Hey, Joanna. Hi.
Hey, howdy.
That's my daughter, everyone.
There you go. Let's talk about immigration for a second. Trump took a hard stand on immigration. What do you think were the biggest obstacles in fully implementing his policy on immigration?
Gary, you want this one?
All right, let's see. Go ahead, take this one.
Okay. I don't think he was hard on immigrants. I'll tell you the truth. He just did what was legally correct. That's not being hard. I'm sorry. Being hard is like, a parent, being really, really strict, and it's not what it was. He just followed the rules. How can you say following the rules is being hard on somebody? So if I go arrest a bank robber, am I being hard on him? Listen, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so hard on you, but I got to arrest you because you shot the guard. I'm sorry. I don't mean it, but.
Yeah, sit in the corner for timeout.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
No. But see, wait. But what people don't get about the immigration, because I can say this, and I'm sure everybody else can. Our grandparents came over here at a very young age. Even my wife's father came here at a very young age. They learned
nothing.
The language. They learned to get a job. They went to school, got education. Not like the people here on the menu that can't spell. Now, okay. So, but they came legally, sat in Ellis Island for about 3 months. 3 months on Ellis Island. They weren't released in the country just walking around. like what Biden did.
Yeah, that was,
But here's the difference between our parents coming over and who's coming over today. Okay. So our parents came over here. Our parents came over here with the idea of expanding their family into the United States.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Working,
right, exactly. That's not, they came over here for to better their family. Listen to what I'm saying, your family.
Yes.
The people who are coming here today are just coming here to try to get what they can.
And go back.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Back,
see what you get in.
Send the money back.
and not appreciate.
Do you know how much money gets sent out of this country every week?
Oh, I could imagine.
Through Western Union and all of them.
Oh, I could.
These people, they get paid and they send 80% of their check back to their home country. And now their family's building up this huge nest egg and is becoming rich in their country. And we're becoming a dictator just like that, you know.
Okay.
And you know what's funny? Is that they're working, they're probably sending their money over and collecting here too at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where Doge comes in, huh?
Right.
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 That's what Doge does. Doge finds the waste.
I like that. Let's go back to China.
And
again.
they're finding a lie.
Let's go back to China for a second. Trump
Sure.
wasn't shy about challenging China and other global powers. Do you think his policies?
Dude, he walked into North Korea.
Yeah.
We'll hold on to that.
He's the only president who ever walked into North Korea
Nobody
without
else
a
did.
bodyguard.
Yeah.
Without a bodyguard. He just walked over the line.
Okay. Trump wasn't shy about challenging China and other global powers. Do you think his policies put America in a stronger position or created unnecessary conflict? Do you think his American strong policy puts America in a position of strength or created more conflict? What do you think?
I think it puts us in a better position with strength.
I think both. I think it puts us in power, but anytime you put something in power, you get people who resent it. And that puts you in conflict.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad that you said that. Why? It seems like, okay, China and Russia, they want to control the purse strings of the world as far as how finances are being pretty much interacted through the world. Why other countries don't trust them like they trust America? Why do they still trust America when it comes to the world financial transactions where China and Russia really want to take control over? Why other countries don't trust them the way that they trust America? That's a good question.
What do you think, Eric?
I'll let you take that one. That's a good one. That's a tricky one for me.
Okay, so you're asking me why other countries don't trust China, but they trust us. Okay.
When it comes to their finances of just interacting fairly across the board.
Okay.
When it comes to like buying oil, when it comes to just putting your money into the American stock market, knowing that that money is going to be safe versus if I put it in the China stock market, I don't know. Or Russia.
You have to realize, okay, so you have to realize what you're dealing with when you're dealing with China. Well, everybody looks at China and goes, wow, they're just such superior people. They have better math scores and they have this and that. This is what you hear, right?
Yeah.
But what you don't hear is they send kids down into the mines to mine out lithium for the car batteries. Okay.
Young ones, 7-year-olds.
A lot of their workforce is child labor. Okay.
Oh.
You don't hear nothing about that from the Dems. You don't hear, they're not worried about that. They're worried about us not cutting off one of our kids' penises or them not being able to do it. They're not worried about these kids who go down into the mines and come out with black lung. That doesn't matter to them, you know? And it's not just that, it's with everything. So another example is, well, check out their air, what their air quality is. Their air quality is horrible in China. Horrible.
Yep.
And like anything they refine, they do it like as if they refine it through garbage. Okay. The stupidest thing the Dems ever did was having us stop producing oil because we produce the cleanest oil. So everywhere else that produces oil is creating 4 to 5 times the amount of pollution as if we did it.
Right.
So if we did it, I'm just going to throw a number. I don't know the number, but I'm just going to throw. Let's say we produce a gallon of oil, and in that gallon we get 0.7 or 7 ounces of carbon, let's say, or whatever the dirty aspect of it is.
Right.
They produce a gallon of oil and they get 2 gallons of waste.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because they don't treat anything. The whole thing is the bottom dollar.
Okay.
So they're not going to put any extra money into trying to clean it up.
Like we do. We have a refinery.
Do you know, dude, when we buy it from them, we have to re-refine it. Do you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
We re-refine their oil.
So why is the global world, the global the climate control apparatus not targeting them? Why are they targeting us as far as Americans, as far as trying to keep everything clean? Why aren't they?
They're not. We're doing it to ourselves. They're not. We're doing it to ourselves. Because if we can keep America from being a dominant financial source, all right, they can bring all of these people into the United States. They can keep putting Democrats in office who will keep letting these people in. And that's really the whole objective long term with bringing people in here is that the people who come in go, the Democrats brought us in. So we got to vote Democrat from now on.
Oh, the loyalty piece.
From now on, they're always going to get a Democrat in office. Do you know this is the first, the past 8 years is the first, past 4 years before pre-Trump was the first year that we have more foreigners coming into the country, foreign-born people in the United States than Americans.
What's your consensus when it comes to the foreigners that are coming in? Are they like thankful for being here and like, thank you, America?
No.
They're not thankful.
No.
Dude, you had people here who were living in a hotel. Who were living in a hotel that was $1,000 a night hotel. They were given food from their native country. In other words, they had cooks making food. I'm sorry, I got to back up. Okay, they were given food from their native country, and they were turning it down and wrecking the place. $1,000 a night hotel.
Right.
Okay. And they weren't staying there for one night. They were staying there for months.
Right.
What?
Months.
Oh, the Roosevelt Hotel. Go look it up. Look up the rates. Minimal. Your lowest room at the Roosevelt Hotel is $350 a night.
Yeah.
And they would get food. They got.
Then they beat up the police officers on
42nd Street. They jumped the 2 cops.
I heard about that.
Yeah, but they appreciate all the country. They appreciate all our way of life.
They don't. That's the whole point. If they came here and wanted to make things better, listen.
No problem.
The other thing is, you can't go to a place and the first thing you do is a criminal act. It's the first thing you're doing. How can you expect that place to welcome you? Okay. It'd be like me coming to your house, Lee. Me coming to your house and taking a leak on your wall.
Oh, wait a minute. It's like, what's going on?
I take a leak on your wall. Are you going to invite me back?
Right.
Oh, of course not. It's like, no.
No, you're not going to make me come back and piss on the other side.
No.
I mean, you don't want to match, do you?
No. Okay. Younger voters have been skeptical of Trump's approach. What can Republicans do to win over the next generation?
Well, that's where you kind of, I would argue that. I would argue that question with you.
Okay.
Because after Trump doing the podcasts, being on Rogan and being with Shane Gillis and being with, I'm trying to think of who else he was with. He did a bunch of podcasts, which opened up. The reason he won was because of the young population.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's why he won. Because
Also,
even afterwards, what?
No, I was just saying, there's a guy out there too. Is it Charlie Kirk? You know him.
Right.
And he goes to all the colleges, speaks to the young. And in the last couple of years, before they let all of them were Democrat, they switched over because what he was telling them. He just gives them, talks about what Trump's going to do.
Right now, he's more popular with the youth than he is with the adults.
Right.
That's why I don't know about it. Okay.
Right.
The only people he's not popular with, there's only 2 groups he's not popular with. And that's white college graduate women and black women. And that's it. And in black women, he's about 50-50.
Don't go nowhere with that. I want you to stick with that because I think that's going to be for our audience to really get an insight on that. Why is that? Especially with white men. Start with the white women.
Okay, so the white college educated women, why don't they like Trump?
Right.
Because, okay, first off, it's not even about politics. It's not about him being Trump or anything he ever did. It's about his status. You have to understand that he's rich. He's not a bad-looking guy, okay?
No.
In terms of, I'm not saying he's Brad Pitt by any stretch of the imagination.
Rob Lowe.
Right. But in reality, that $9 billion sure as hell makes him a lot more attractive. I don't care what you say. The fact that he can travel anywhere, he's got planes, yachts, and all of this stuff. Right, exactly. There's a certain amount of animosity from the beginning because you would want your husband to have that.
Oh.
And now you're looking at him and you're going, oh, well, I wouldn't want him anyway. That's the logic. It's like someone who has a hot dog or roast beef in front of them, right? And someone comes along and takes the roast beef. They can't turn around and say, oh, I really wanted that. So they go, oh, I didn't want that anyway. I wanted the hot dog.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want the roast beef.
Well, the whole thing is they know they're never going to get the roast beef, and that pisses them off.
Right. That's what you're saying. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Hey, Leroy.
Now, right?
Yeah.
I worked in a building, doorman, cleaning, and everything. And we're rich people. And I got along with everybody because that's okay. But I heard other people rich people are bad. Why are they bad? I just don't understand why are rich people bad. I mean, they help you. They pay your salary.
Right.
Like I was one of my doormen, one of my friends, co-workers, kept putting them down every day. I'm like, yo, bro, you're working here. They're paying you.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you?
It's not even that. Dude, honestly, I've worked so far. Right now, I presently work for a billionaire. Okay? I presently work for a billionaire.
Oh, whoa.
I've worked for 4 others. I'll tell you the ones I've worked for in the past. I won't tell you the one I'm working for now.
No, mention no names. No,
it's okay. I don't mind. One was Leon Black, who owns Sirius XM Radio. Okay, that Leon Black was one. The Freeborgs, who own like an island in Paris and shit. The other one was the Renners. The Renners. If you want to look up these names, you're more than welcome. They're very, very public and very well known. Also Tish. I've worked for Tish. And I mean, on a close level. I'm not talking about where I clean their bathrooms. I'm talking about where I was intimate with these people.
Right.
And I'm telling you that they are the most generous, philanthropic people. I won't give you the name of the person I'm working with now, but I will tell you a quick story, okay? So I worked out the husband, the wife, and 2 sons. I had a straight week with them.
Yeah.
So
good people.
One day we're going to go for a run, me and the wife, okay? So I take her downstairs. We get into the lobby, and she looks at the one doorman. Doorman's name was Stan. Okay, really nice guy, older Polish guy, like in his late 60s. He was getting ready to retire and stuff.
Right.
When you looked at him, you saw his face. His face was like he was a beaten man. I'm telling you, it's because like I even turned around to her and I was like, "Wow, Stan doesn't look good." She walked over to him. She pulled him aside. She didn't do it in front of everybody.
Right.
She walked over to him. She pulled him aside and started talking to him. So we walk away. She comes back. We walk away. We go for a run. We come back. She hands her maid an envelope and says, "Take this down to Stan." I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Right. So I finish my workout. Right. I go downstairs. I go walking towards Stan. He's got tears in his eyes. Tears. Okay. So I said, "What's wrong, Stan? What happened? Did she yell at you or something?" He goes, "No. She gave me $30,000. So I said, "What?" He goes, "I have a tax issue with my house and I'm going to lose my house." And when I told her about it, she just sent this down. She told me I don't have to worry about it. This is the way they are. I'll go you one better. Okay, so wait. This is me now. This is me. I'm in Carshills Park. You know Carshills Park.
Oh, of course. I love
There's
that
a guy
place.
there. There's a guy there with a dog, and he yanks the dog by the neck and yanked it hard. I didn't say nothing. It hit me like my spine tingled. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't say nothing. Then he smacked the dog. So I walked over to him and I said, "Listen, why don't you take that collar and put it on my neck and smack me?"
What was his response?
So we started arguing. And it got to where we were going to fight. I said, "Before we do this, tie your dog up. I don't want the dog running free. Just tie your dog up and then we'll finish this." He tied the dog up. I started beating the hell out of him. I'm telling you, I was beating the hell out of him. I was on top of him on the floor.
Right.
Okay, I had my knees on his shoulders.
Right.
And I'm getting ready to punch down into his...
Knock him out. Right. Lights out.
And from behind, somebody grabbed my shoulder like this and whipped me around. I didn't know who it was. I don't know if he had a friend. So I turned and I back fisted. It was a cop.
Oh.
I hit a cop. I hit him. He took out his billy club and banged me across my kidney. All right? Dude, I have one kidney. And he hit the one kidney.
Whoa.
So over the next 3 or 4 days, I'm starting to change color. I'm getting like yellowish, and I'm not.
I remember that. Yep.
But I just lost my insurance.
Oh.
So I couldn't go to the doctor. I wasn't going to have insurance for 2 more weeks. So I show up at this same person's house the next morning, and I look horrible. You could see I got a fever and my eyes are sunk. And she turns around to me and she goes, "What's wrong?" So I tell her the story. I said, I got insurance coming in 2 weeks. I just got to wait it out, and then I'll have it checked out. She takes out her black Amex card. Black Amex. You know what the limit on a black Amex card? I could have went around the fucking world, okay?
Yep.
She takes out a black Amex card and hands it to me and says, "Do not come back to this house until you have a doctor's note."
That was, wow. Talk about one better. That is one better right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are the people that they say are cheap. The same people wouldn't give you $1.50 to get a soda.
Right.
And these are evil people.
Trump appointed a significant number of judges. How do you see his judicial impact shaping Americans' future for decades to come?
I see it great because the judges that he put in go by the Constitution.
Right. I was just thinking the same thing.
And seriously, we do have a Constitution. I mean, you can't have a judge in there. I mean, we do. Biden put a judge in there that can't even define a woman, and she's a woman. So
again, yeah.
So I have to say, whatever Trump does, puts the judges in, it's for the right of our country, for everybody's rights. Because God forbid if you have to use the Supreme Court, which I might have to soon. Right, brother?
Okay, so expand on that a little bit. So remember before I was telling you the difference between Democrats and Republicans, remember? Well, I'm going to do that here, and it's going to be much clearer, okay? When you put a Republican judge in there, he follows the law. He follows word of the law.
Follows the law.
When you put a Democrat judge in there, it's feelings. Everything's feelings. And law and feelings can't be the same.
No, well,
because if they were, nothing would get done. Because everybody's got feelings. But the law tells you whether you're on the wrong or right side of it.
So, it's all about the law. There you go, people.
There it is. Law 101.
I told you. Calculator, law books. I told you, man. I wasn't kidding.
There it is. There it is.
My man, I got the Constitution. I got the book where people come in and have to take the test. I got everything. Wow, you know why? Because it is our law.
I created a monster, man. I created a monster with this guy. No, you don't understand. Kerry was having an issue. I don't know if you know this story, but you want to, Kerry? You want me to tell it, or you want to? Or you don't want to tell it? If you don't want, I'll tell it.
That's fine. Look, okay, we got the dictionary.
There it is. There it is.
So Kerry had an issue at his job where they suspended him. They were wrong, by the way. He was totally exonerated. Okay. I want to say that. He was 100% exonerated. All right. So he had an issue at his job. So they suspended him and told him to get off the property. So they call him one day and they said, you take it. You tell the story.
Okay. There we go. It was a very sad situation, which will come out very shortly in the law.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the whole thing. Just this one part with the Fourth Amendment.
Right. Okay. Now, of course, they kick you out, so you have to leave. Okay. So now, of course, they say I'm guilty and everything, which I'm not. Okay. So this is in May now. I said, after we had a hearing, and I told them I'm not guilty, blah, blah, blah. The hearing, they didn't do anything. Okay. They had to investigate for a year. Now, make a long story short, I wanted to go get my belongings in my lockup. So I said to my union rep, I said, I would like to go pick up my stuff. First thing they said was, no, you can't do that. They're going to go open up your locker, put your stuff in a bag, and put it out on the street, and you come pick it up.
Now, stop. That sounds logical, right, Lee?
Yeah, okay.
That sound logical to you?
Okay.
Adventures to you too. Go ahead. Tell them what really happened.
Okay. Well, now, that's not logical because, one, everybody has a Fourth Amendment right. The Fourth Amendment right is if they open up your locker, it's a legal.
Illegal search and seizure.
Search and seizure.
Know that part.
Okay. And plus, the Department of Education, they're corrupt and everything. And that's why Trump was going after them, right? Our kids can't even read and write. But anyway, they'll do anything. So I said, no, you can't do that. And he argued with me. And I said, okay, we have lawyers at the union. Go ask the lawyer and get back to me. 2 days later, the man got back to me and said, you can go pick up your stuff. You're going to be escorted into your room. Why?
Bingo.
Because it's the Constitution. It's the Fourth Amendment right. And if we didn't have our Constitution, which really people are stupid.
Yeah.
It's not even that. What makes it dumb? The dumbest part about this is it's Kerry calls me that day and he goes, they want to go into my locker. They're not going to go into your locker. Trust me. You're going to get your stuff.
Right.
So I turn around to him. And so the whole thing about this is it comes down to two things. Number one, he has a certain expectation of privacy with that locker. That's why they give you a locker. Nice. It's for privacy. Nice. Number two, if they open it without him being there, they could plant something in there. Or they could steal something out of it. Or they could steal something out of it and be accused of that. Like if they would open it, he could have had him arrested and said they stole a Pablo Picasso that was hanging in my locker.
Right.
You can't. You have to have a witness. The only
it makes a whole lot of sense. But protection, just for our protection. Gotcha.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Here's the problem. People out there think that we don't know the law. That's what it comes down to. They think that because what they do. Oh, my brother.
Know your Constitution.
That's why everybody should be happy they have a Constitution in this country. But of course, we have Democrats who want to go against it, but they're stupid people because if anything ever happened to them, they don't deserve the rights. They don't deserve it.
Okay, let's end it right here, guys. Wow, what a conversation tonight. We covered a lot, and the key role.
Oh, no. Now I got to bring something up.
Okay, bring something up.
So this week I'm watching a TV show. I'm watching some show, and they were doing like clips, and there was this African American woman chasing this blonde white girl down who had braids in her hair, telling her, "You got to take that out of your hair. That's not yours. That's appropriation." Is screaming at her. She was going to yank them out of her head. But of course, the white chick was 98 pounds, and the African American chick was 400. So yeah, of course she's going to rip them out of her hair. But what do you think? Now, you're African American, Lee.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, let's suppose right now I went and I did an afro. What would your opinion be?
I'd be like, okay, that's great. You want to do that? That's fantastic. Go at it.
How does it affect you?
It doesn't affect me whatsoever.
Well, no, the sickest part about this is these people who are making these problems are just fucking numbnuts. They're numbheaded. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because do you know where braids, and I'm talking about like those tight braids with like the beads.
Right.
Do you know where they were? Do you know the first culture to ever do that? I do.
I could take a guess. Maybe India.
The Vikings.
Oh boy.
Yep.
The Vikings were the first culture to ever use braids like that.
So us African Americans, we're taking the Vikings not
necessarily. Not necessarily. First of all, African Americans didn't use braids. They shaved their heads.
Oh.
Women shaved their heads. African American women shaved their heads.
Oh, how about that?
How many times have you seen African American? Seriously, how many times have you seen actual African women with hair?
Right, and they have the neck,
the plates, But always a little bit, maybe a little bit of a nap. That's what they would call it.
That's it. Unbelievable. Okay, well, wow, what a conversation tonight. We covered a lot. The key roadblocks Republicans face when trying to implement Trump's vision, the political pushback, and whether or not his policies truly benefit the average American. But the conversation doesn't stop here. We want to hear from you. Did we hit the mark? And are there any obstacles we didn't cover? Do you think Trump's approach will work in the long run, or is it doomed to fail? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's have a discussion. And don't forget, next Saturday night. And what you got? What you got, Captain?
Don't hang up. Okay, two things before I go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say is the next show we might actually try to bring some of you, if you want, in live.
Yes.
If you're looking to come in live, we can invite you, and you'll be on the screen with us, on stage with us.
Yep.
Yes.
And we can all talk. We just ask that you keep it, nothing dirty or anything like. You can speak dirty, but I don't know porn or nothing like that, please.
Okay, yeah.
But we would love to have you on, and we would love to bring you into the discussion and hear your thoughts also. And this is the last thing, which is something I end every podcast with.
Yes.
If you got an extra 10, 15 cents, $1, whatever, St. Jude, Shriners, Wounded Warriors, Tunnel for Towers. Any of these are really great, and they really need your help. And what you should also do is, when you have your real bad days, seriously, do this. When you have your really bad days and you think things are horrible, replay one of the Shriners commercials in your head where they're singing, Merry Christmas, I'll be home for the holidays or whatever.
Right.
And realize that if these kids can sing, you probably can too. Anyway, that's me.
I agree.
Lee, I love you, pal. I think you're doing awesome. Kerry, me and you are like, two peas in a fucking pod.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you next week.
Okay, one more thing, Leroy.
Wait, one more thing. Kerry's got to get something in.
Yeah, one more thing. Maybe next week we could talk about about education, how people are literate, running businesses in our country.
Yes, we'll touch on that too. All right, guys, next week we're going to try that. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the bottom of all of our hearts. Enjoy.
All right, have a good night, folks.
And I'm really loving doing this. Later, guys.